Hello and welcome everyone to my very belated end of the year tag. This is hard for me to say because I'm not a quitter when it comes to books and I never DNF, much to my detriment, but I enthusiastically started Anniversaries by Uwe Johnson back in August, which is a fictional diary format of a German immigrant woman escaping fascist Germany and communist Russia to New York City and chronicling her and her daughter's daily life from August 1967 to August 1968. So going over currently relevant topics and reveling in the minutiae of daily life, which is all stuff I love. And I'd planned on reading a diary entry every day, but I haven't been. I'm very guilty of letting new releases and contemporary topics take over. I mean, this is a new release too, since it was re-released in July of this year, but originally published during the 70s and 80s. So, in my head, I'm still reading it, still planning on going back to it, and will be finishing not by the end of the month, but next year, as planned. I just need to pick it back up again. In high school and college, around this time of year, every year, I used to read Little Women. It's perfect to get into the holiday spirit both festively and morally. But this year, for this month, now that I've discovered BookTube and so many great books, there are so many new books I want to read. I have Wintering, The Power of Rest and Retreat in Difficult Times by Catherine May on my TBR. I love timing my books to seasons and months to really get into the spirit of the book, and it sounds perfect to read right now when I'm honestly feeling pretty defeated with the new variant, another lockdown seems imminent, and I want to rest, I want to retreat. A few months ago, I read the titular essay for Ann Patchett's new book, These Precious Days, and I lolled, I wept, I was infused with hope, and I couldn't wait for the book release, which I'm pleased to say I pre-ordered and am currently reading. So far, so good. I'm finding it very comforting. This is my first Ann Patchett, and I'm not wowed like I was with, say, Ottessa Moshfegh or Lily King, but I'm very pleased. In my mid-year book freakout tag, I said I want to read The Idiot by Elif Batuman, Pachinko by Min-Jin Lee, and I Love Dick by Chris Kraus, which I still need to do. I'm definitely prioritizing Pachinko because I've been meaning to make a K-Lit video all year long, and I couldn't not make it before reading Pachinko. It's also the longest at 512 pages, and to my perception, the most emotionally taxing since it's set during the early 20th century when Korea was occupied by Japan, and all the atrocities. I can only imagine the heartache I'm in for. I hope I get to the other two, but there are other books on my TBR list this month, not to mention the holidays and everything that entails, so we'll see. Yes, it is Milkman by Anna Burns, but backstory first. I started this BookTube channel only a couple months after discovering its existence, and it's been so fun and rewarding and opened me up to so many books I'd never otherwise have heard of. I'm talking like the classic BookTube famous books. My very first BookTube video I watched was Charid's review for Ottessa Moshfegh's My Year of Rest and Relaxation, because I read it and came out of it with my head buzzing, and I needed to find other people whose heads were similarly blown. And from there, I kept hearing about the same handful of books, one of which is The Overstory by Richard Powers, which I just read and included in my November wrap-up video. Others are basically anything from Ottessa Moshfegh and, of course, Sally Rooney. And one is Milkman by Anna Burns. It won the Man Booker Prize in 2018, and everyone seems to treat it with a quiet reverence. So it's in my December TBR, and I'm looking forward to that, and I feel like it's my dark horse. Yes, like The Lonely City, Adventures in the Art of Being Alone by Olivia Lang, and Pavan for a Dead Princess by Pang Mingyu, to name a few. These are some of the books I wanted to read this year, but fell by the wayside from the shamu splash of new releases that I was too seduced by. Basically, all the books I'd planned to read this year but didn't get around to. And that's including a lot more classics like A Room with a View by E.M. Forster and Claire from Claire Eats Books' favorite, Villette by Charlotte Bronte, as well as some books I didn't really take to at first but now have a change of heart, like Crying in H Mart by Michelle Zauner. Initially, I didn't quite take to this memoir, but the more time passed, and after reading more K-Lit, I realized I completely missed the heart and soul of this book, which is that your roots are what makes you, you. And if you lose that connection, then you're forever going to search for it to feel whole again. What a profound message in a memoir from someone who's barely 30 years old. And finally, don't come at me, you young kids, but I'm consciously deciding not to waste my time with Sally Rooney next year. I tried, but that zeitgeist will have to pass me by. I need more answers than Rooney's ambivalence and inertia. Unless I hear that her next novel is akin to Mr. Salary, that'll be the only exception. This has been a belated mishmash of tags that I am quickly cranking out, but hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Bye!